Hit it.
Finally.
Hit it.
Where'd I hit?
You hit to the right, low on the target.
You didn't record that, did you?
I recorded on this one.
We don't make the rules. We just follow. Yeah. Last Minute Man, and we are back on the range. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious. And Mr. Obvious, what are we talking about today?
Oh, Lordy mercy, we got an SKS we're going to talk about today and do a little bit of shooting.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when I got into the semi-automatic rifle game, this was my first love.
Yeah.
And really, this was back when I was 16. These things were all over the place. I remember when I was 18, I could have bought one for like $90, and I think the ones that got away was a Moznagant. I could have bought one of those for like $75, and you remember the gun dealer at the time.
Oh yeah.
Poor fella, he's not here anymore, but he also had crates of these, and they were like $90.
Yeah. And
he taught me how to buy one, actually. He's like, these are junk. These are not junk. These are great guns.
Yeah.
When you could buy them for that $90 range,
those great guns.
It was ignorant to pass them up back then, and I was young. You know, we all make mistakes. But in today's world, a cheap one you're finding for like $400, and to me, that's a little excessive for this. But that doesn't take away the fact that this is an excellent firearm.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
I got about $100 in this. This one has all matching serial numbers. When I got it, I got about $100 in this one. All the serial numbers, the bolt and the cap, and
this is a Chinese variant.
Yeah, and so it had a 30-round mag in it.
When you bought it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I like the gun original like it is.
Yep.
10-round mag. I discarded that. I did buy this aftermarket. So this is the only part on the gun that don't have matching serial number. Everything else is all matching. And
as far as we know, it's all original.
Yeah, it's all original stock, original, and nothing's X'd out. Nothing's X'd out here. So yeah, it's all original. And it's a great shooter. It used to be. I ain't shot it in a while. I mean, we done one video, I think, on it, just plinking around.
I think we had it set aside.
I don't know.
I know the last time he and I both shot this, we shot at 100 yards.
That's been a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a little over a year ago. But I was shooting about an inch high at 100, and then he stacked, and that was offhand. So, well, now here I'm talking a good game. Now the camera's on. Let's see what it does today. But we're going to go out here and shoot, just get it zeroed at 100. And then we're going to go out to 400, which is pretty far distance for a rifle like this. This thing, the 7.62 .39 caliber is a lot like a 30-30 as far as its ballistic capabilities. Really devastating within that 200 yard, 200 meter range. When you get out there to 4, it is said that about 440 yards is its real power, I guess it's range for killing a person. But when you get out past that, it's really just lobbing.
Start losing its steam. You probably, I mean, out 400 yards, I've kind of calculated in my head, we probably got the power of a 38 special at point blank at 400 with this.
Yeah.
It may be a little more than that.
But that was calculated in his head, so you don't know what's going on up there.
That crazy crap goes on up there, man.
It comes and goes. We don't know. But the sights will get you all the way out to 1,000 meters. So, boy, oh boy, that is what you call plunging fire or lobby fire.
That's lobbying. Yeah, we can slide it up and we can get the elevation. Yeah. Now, whether this is going to be on or not, once we get it dialed in at 100, we'll put it on 400 and see if we can hit that target.
So, well, let's quit jabbering. Let's get out here and shoot, and we'll talk some more about it after we get done shooting. But let's get out there and kill something. Okay, Mr. Obvious. So we're going to be shooting at 100 here, just to kind of see where it's hitting. Now, show the folks at home how you load this with a stripper clip.
All righty. This is the way we do it.
You can see it goes in just perfect. And now it's chambered.
Loaded. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Obvious, I'm getting the secondary camera fired up. and go ahead and fire when ready. All right, go ahead and put me 2 more shots on target, and let's see how it's grouping. All right, well, let's get down there, see how you grouped, and then we'll go out to 4. Okay, Mr. Obvious, so show us your shots here.
All right, we have the first shot here. This is due to, I can't remember how we set the gun up.
Yep.
Target on top of the bead or cut the
center of
the target.
Right.
So my first shot was here because I held here, target on top of the bead. So that's why I'm kind of in here. Then there's a colder barrel shot too. Then the next shot we pulled, I helped the center of this target. I can see a little bit of black on top of my front sight bead.
So you just split the center.
I'll split it in half like I do a pistol when I'm shooting a pistol. Roger. Then I hit here, then I hit here.
So you were within an inch and a half.
We're an inch and a half open sights.
So you're under you're a little over a minute of angle.
A little over.
But that is
off a bog pod too. I mean.
Yeah, so that helps you out a lot having that thing, and that is pretty sweet. I like that. But we wanted to make sure the rifle was shooting accurately, and it is. Yeah. So now we're just going to go prone and shoot out there at 400, and we'll both shoot at that. We'll see how we did.
That's interesting.
All right. Well, I've got this set to 400. Let's see how she does.
See how she does, if we can even hit steel. If them sights is right.
Well, let's hope. We will see. All right, here we go. What do we get? I'm going to take another shot. Am I hitting right, left, or center?
I can't see. I'm looking through this.
I know I'm missing.
You might go up to hold it at the top of the target or go up for an elevation.
I'm going to hold it at the top.
You hit over.
Okay. I'm going to fire one more.
Hold it. You hit over.
I aim low that time. All right. So that is 0 for me. 4 goose eggs. Let's see how you do. Okay, Mr. Obvious. So you said you could see what I was doing.
I can see the bullet. They're traveling at 2,400 muzzle at the most. So I can see the bullet going right over top of the target.
And you were looking through the spotting scope.
Spotting scope, yeah.
And so you could kind of see where they were hitting, but I was shooting over, you said.
Yeah.
So, and I aimed all the way at the bottom on that final shot, and it still went over. So drop that down to the 300 meter.
Yeah.
And see if we do any better from there. All right, so Mr. Obvious, I'm going to get this fired up. Secondary camera is rolling, and we dropped it down to the 300 meter mark. Fire when ready. I think you hit low. Nephew, where's he hitting? It looked like it went over. All right, aim low there, Mr. Obvious, and we'll get it in there eventually. Oh, it's a hit. We're on now. Give us another shot. Oh, that's 2. Where's he hitting, nephew?
The first one was about 4 inches under the black, and then this one was about an inch or 2 up to the right.
All right, awesome. All right, Mr. Obvious, so tell us what kind of magic you pulled there. What were we doing?
All right, I put it back down on 300 yards. So
okay.
This is in meters, like you said.
Roger.
So I put it back to 300, and I helped the black target on top of the bead.
Okay.
So, and we're hitting steel anyway.
All right, well, that's pretty good, open sights. Do we want to do some running and gunning?
Sure, why not?
Let's see what this sucker will do with a running gun. All right, so our final challenge here, we're going to let the nephew do because He's got the youngest bones, and I think probably the best at this. But we're going to do our run and gun challenge, and that should be scrolling on the screen right now what the event is. But the nephew's going to run and do all this with 10 rounds in the pipe here, so stick with us. Okay, nephew. Fire when ready. All right. Shot, go, go, go. Fire one shot advancing. All right. Now you can fire two when you get up to the 100. All right, so I'm gonna try my hand at this and see if I can do as good or worse. So let's go at it. You ready? Oh, here we go. Overshot. And we are back with our after action report. And what do we have to report today, Mr. Obvious?
Well, I'm going to report an SKS shooting a little flatter than I expected.
Absolutely, so yeah.
It's done good.
And again, the 7.62 by 3.9 is ballistically very similar to a 30-30.
Yeah.
I'd say you wouldn't have a problem at 200 yards taking down a white-tailed deer or even something as big as a mule deer.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is an excellent firearm.
Yeah.
You know, and I really like these SKSs. You got to consider this thing was built in 1945, or this design came out in 1945, and I believe it replaced the Mosin-Nagant as the Soviets' primary weapon.
Yeah.
And it was used into the 50s until they began using the AK-47, which kind of overtook this as far as its, I guess, what they liked.
Yeah. I consider this more of a sporting rifle than I would I don't know, it just feels more like a hunting rifle than it does a military old style rifle.
And again, come from the era that it was designed. You know, you had the M1 Grand at this time.
Yeah.
You did have some very, very nice weapons that are still utilized today, or the actions anyway are still utilized. This is a short stroke piston setup here. This is the Chinese variant. Mm-hmm. And yeah, militaries did use them for quite some time. The Chinese, I believe, used them for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've been represented in every type of guerrilla warfare since they were invented. And I mean, guys were still using these in Afghanistan.
Oh, well.
So they're still out there. They're very reliable. Now, as you'll see, shooting 400 yards out there like we were doing, I hit once out of 6 shots, and I think the once I hit was off camera. And then Mr. Obvious hit twice 2 out of 3 or
out
was
of 4.
it out of 4?
Mm-hmm.
And then the nephew, he hit one off camera
Mm-hmm.
and actually did real well. Now the running gun on this, you got to consider the trigger and all this. And I wouldn't sit here and say you can watch me do running guns and other stuff. I'm not like anything extravagant or amazing, but it's definitely different when you jump from gun to gun and
Mm-hmm.
you're like going back in time when you shoot this. And I just think it's really cool. Someone could definitely shoot better than I was doing, but yeah, I mean, I think it's very effective. 5 out of 10, you know, so 50% ain't bad. So I was happy with it. It shoots as I expected, realistically.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I really like it. I've had it for years and years. I mean, we mentioned earlier, you know, what I gave for it. And
Yeah.
I've had it probably since the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a great gun. And I mean, 100 yards, open sights. What you seen? It's shooting 1.5 inches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it shoots really nice. Again, if I could pick one of these up, I mean, for $250, even $280, I'd be all over this. I mean, I would buy one today at that price. Of course, you're not going to find them at that price, you know, but you're going to find them. 400 would probably be on the low end anymore. And really, for me, unless you're a collector, it's kind of priced itself out of the market for me.
Yeah, they've got too expensive for what they are.
Yeah.
People paying higher prices is just doing nothing but driving the price up on them.
Well, you know, and they were very abundant in the 90s. I think they were shipped over in like the 80s, late 80s, 88 or something is when they got a huge shipment of them in. And I mean, it took them through the 90s to sell them all. So there were tons of them out there. Now, don't get us crossed. I am not saying this is a bad firearm at all. If you have one of these and you've got, you know, plenty of ammo for it and everything, you've got a great gun. I mean, this is very reliable. You could definitely defend your home with this. You could definitely get game with this. This is an excellent firearm by every measure, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's just when we get into this $400 price range, I think now, you know, step up a little bit and get an AR or something. You know, you can. It's a different game now. So, yeah, at that $400 price point, I think, especially, I've seen some of these. If you get a Russian variant, I've seen them for $1,000. I'm like, come on, you know. But hey, it's the collectability of it.
Yeah, that's about it. I had a Russian one back in the early '90s and let it go, and somebody needed it worse than I did, so I wished I'd have kept it. But
well, you know what? This Chinese variant is awesome. Really is. What can I say? Any firearm with a bayonet, you know, fixed to the rifle. That just says war right there. I don't care who you are. If that deer is wounded, boy, you can take him out with an empty chamber. So yeah, I just think this is cool. What an awesome firearm. You do have the cleaning rod. His does have the cleaning kit. Let's show the folks at home what this looks like. Looks just like the ones they had in the AKs back in the day. And I've got an old Romanian AK that I bought, had the same cleaning kit in it. So yeah, they're just a very neat, handy rifle. Is there anything you want to add to this, Mr. Obvious?
Oh, I don't know what to add. I mean, I for what it is, I just like it. It's a great little gun. I just like to get out and plink with it. I bought a it was a plastic stock, I guess.
Oh, synthetic stock for it?
Synthetic stock, put it on there. It was longer, but it was heavy as heck. And I said, you know what? No, I went back to put the wood back on it, and I just like it the way it is.
And like you said, you did have a 30-round magazine for this.
I had a 30-round mag, didn't like that.
And they do make that. I'm with Mr. Obvious. I like it just as it was intended to be. I think that's the way to keep it. It's kind of like having an old. I always do these references to cars. It's like an old muscle car. You know, why do a resto mod? I kind of like them the way they were. I want to feel that car the way it felt in 1967. I want to feel this the way it felt in 1945. And you know, I'm sure there's some things different on this than they were then, but I think this is a really great example of this firearm. I really like it.
Now these guns do have matching numbers like some of your old militaries. I mean, it's got 01, 01, the stock's 01. I mean, everything, it's all matching numbers. So, you know, if you get one looking for original, make sure all your numbers match, you know.
And I've read different things on that too, and that can be confusing as well, you know, because they do restoring and stuff like that. But as a general rule of thumb, you're absolutely right. This one, I believe, is all original other than your magazine. And the finish on this is excellent. I mean, it's hard to believe. I don't know when this one specifically was made. I'm sure we could find out from the
don't know, but you kind of mentioned earlier, it says right here, you know, 762 Sporter. And
oh, yeah.
It's made in China, and BFBT or something, Arizona. That's got in it.
I guess that's the company when it came over, and I'm just speculating here, but please, in the comment section below, let us know. I'm not claiming to be an expert on this, but I would assume when these came over, whoever the distributor was, you had to serialize them, things like that, and to be sold to the U.S. market. But and that, especially during the Clinton gun ban era and all that stuff. But yeah, you know, it brings me to my next point, not to get too political, but when you're looking at, I think right now there's a bill in Congress where they're trying to ban, quote, assault weapons, they're saying, or semi-automatic weapons. There's so many things like this out there. I don't know what they're thinking. You're not going to get rid of Mr. and Mrs. America's firearms. You know, people, you know, to quote Shane, a gun's just as dangerous or just as useful as the person wielding it, just like a hammer. And, you know, it's to me, just absolutely ridiculous where we're at in this day and age. This inanimate object is not going to hurt anybody unless a human being gets behind it and wants to do something bad. So, and you can't regulate that. Unfortunately, you know, we live in a, not unfortunately, but we do live in a free society, and crazy people are always going to be with us. So until you find a fix for crazy, you know, the best thing you can do is arm yourself and be prepared for whatever comes down.
Can't fix stupid with duct tape.
No. That stuff holds Kentucky on the map, and I mean, duct tape can fix a lot, but you can't fix stupid, can't fix crazy. But everybody, comment below. Tell us what you thought about this. By all means, comment on my shooting capabilities there. Not the greatest in the world, but it is what it is. We don't edit anything to make us look better. So with that, keep your knife sharp, keep your powder dry.
Subscribe to Last Minute Man.